Welcome to Bear Talk channel. This is Bear and this is Molly. She cannot stop to away from my desk, so I will record a video with her together about this book, one of the must-read book for all the designers, especially for product designers and UX designers. Just Enough Research by Erika Hall. This book was stayed on my to read list for a while, and just during the holiday of this new year I finished this book and feel, wow, that's so good. Just as a context, Erika Hall was she is the researcher for so many years as the expert in this field. She shared a lot of insights around what is research and how we can use it to help our design process. And she wrote this book and got it published a few years ago. I can't remember. So the first edition probably maybe a decade ago, and still so useful and popular. So and it's become one of the best in this field. I think I might not the best to summarize this book, so probably the author would do the best job of summarizing this book. So if you search Just Enough Research on YouTube, you will see her speech about this book. So around like half an hour, and you will got all the juice from this book. But as my personal book review, I want to share something that I feel really useful for me as a product designer. So this is the high level types of the research that we might be able to use, like as a researcher or as a UX designer, maybe A/B testing, usability testing, interviews, and other parts maybe also quite relevant, like we can do some competitor research, competitor analysis, and usability testing. Yeah, so that's our types of the research that we want to do. But let's take a step back about why we want to do research. And normally we want to know our assumptions and the real world, what's the gap between these two parts, and we want to get this gap as closer as possible. So that's the major reason that I want to be right when we make the design decision, the product decision. We want to make it right. So that's a major purpose of why we want to do the research. And from the note of this book, I got user interviews, usability tests, and also other parts. But I just want to share 5 things that I find really useful, or just like blow my mind about research. So the first thing is survey is hard. Surveys are the most difficult research method of all. This has really changed my mind. Before I thought survey is so easy, right? You have all available tools like SurveyMonkey, Google Form, and everyone can get together a survey and send to someone and get some sort of data and start to work. But from this book, from this sharing, we find that it's not that easy, because if you want to make it work, there are a lot of science steps behind the survey. And if you want to get a right result, like you have to follow some formula like this one. I don't want to explain what it is, but it's so complex. So again, people are so easy to be attracted by cheesy, easy data, but maybe not useful. And survey is one of the tools that may get you distracted. So This is the one thing. This is the first thing I've learned from this book. The second thing actually is really useful is insights. So the more you understand about the real problem, about the constraints, about the limitation, the better decision you'll make and the more convincible you are. So that's the explanation of this quote. When blue sky thinking meets reality, reality always wins. So yeah, so useful, so powerful. User interviews. We might be involved in user interviews a lot as a UX design, product designer. So there are a lot of useful tips, but one thing that I've learned the most valuable is to note specific language and terms that you hear, so that you can better reflect user needs and priorities, behavior patterns, and mental models, which means quotes from interviews is the most powerful insights, most powerful part that you can get from the interview. Next is competitor research. This one is really interesting. It's about when we do competitor research, maybe it's in the beginning or before the design process starts. But she suggested that we might able to test our competitors, like how they do, before we ideate our concepts. So you can test the competitor's product before you even put pencil and paper. So that's a great point. Like if you want to do some feature, I just find some direct or indirect competitors and test it with other people, with my potential customers, so that I can see, oh, this is the opportunities and these are the pitfalls that I want to avoid. Right. Data. So this part is about decision makers' preferable stuff. Molly, did you quiet a little bit? Thanks. So this part is about decision makers love data. So if you can get some data available for you to share, it will help you to make any progress on the arguments if you involved with the decision makers. And this one is also quite impressive. NPS is not a research tool, it's a marketing tool. Before that, I do sometimes use NPS as something to measure the performance of the product, but actually it's not that relevant, because the first rule of research is that you don't ask what people think. You don't ask their opinions, because normally the answer is not reflection for the truth or what they want to do. So for example, everyone loves a horse, right? But who will buy a horse? How many people will buy a horse? Everyone hates ice cream or sugar or like junk food, but how many people will buy junk food for dinner during the week, right? So this is something I think really great to learn. Right. Just enough research. I think time is not enough for this book for me to summarize this book. So I highly recommend you read the book, pick up a copy, and share something. And then if you feel not enough, can check the summary by the author Erika to find more insights. And thanks for watching this video. I hope it's helpful for you. So if you are on your design journey, why not to subscribe my channel so that I can share more about how to become a UX and product designer in the future. This is Bear. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.